If you have clicked on this video, I know it's probably because you shrink around certain people, shrink in social situations, you feel insecure, you get so socially awkward and anxious, you replay how you come across, and you just wish you could be like one of them cool confident girls who just breezes through the room, knows what to say, has it all figured out, and does not seem to flinch in front of other people. And I imagine you probably want to learn to embrace the spotlight, because if you're on my page, then I know you're somebody who knows that you're meant for more in life, but your introverted traits just keep getting in the way, and they make you shy away, and they make you think that everybody else is judging you. And as one of the biggest introverts of our time, I've been exactly where you are. And now I'm posting online, I go to frequent networking events alone, I show up constantly, I meet new people, I go for photo shoots, I do loads of stuff, and people constantly tell me, wow, you're so outgoing. And deep down I'm like, dang, they really don't know what I had to go through. How is it even possible that I got here? But lucky for you, I know how it's possible, and I'm gonna teach you. I'm here to tell you that you are living in this mental cage that you have created for yourself, which is nothing to feel bad or guilty about because it happens to the best of us, but I am gonna teach you how to break out of it with my 7 juicy social confidence rules that nobody taught you, and then at the end, a secret little practical tool ritual you can use to apply all of these into your life, to help you own a room, detach from people's opinions, and learn extroverted traits. And the whole way through this video, I do have practical examples so you can make it apply to you and you never have to just label yourself as awkward again. That's not going to happen here. We're diving into not only how to appear more confident but also how to feel it on the inside out for social situations, and as always there is a little free cheat sheet workbook that goes down below that you can get in the caption, because what good is all this knowledge if you don't know how to implement it? So before we dive into the 7 social rules, I want to quickly look over why you actually feel like this, because it's so much easier to overcome it once you know why it happens. It's not something wrong with you, and stop telling yourself I'm just an awkward person. No. Your brain is actually doing what it was designed to do, because 1,000 bajillion years ago, don't quote me on that number, belonging to a group was not just like a nice thing to have, it was actual survival. It meant protection and food and connection. So of course we're wired to be like, do they like me? What do they think of me? Am I being accepted? It's protecting you, okay? Now add life experiences on top of that. If you were taught to be a people pleaser, if you were taught to be agreeable and polite, or maybe you were criticized for being too much and speaking up, maybe you were even bullied, and so you adapted these behaviors, and every single time you back out of something, you don't put your hand up in the meeting, or you step out of the situation, or you don't speak up, your brain is like, see, it's safer if we just stay back here. It's keeping you small and it's keeping you from getting everything you want in life. So I'm here to untrain that out of you with these 7 social rules. And just before we dive into the first one, because we're going to be using 2 examples of 2 different kinds of women throughout the video for reference. So think about woman A and woman B. They both look the same, they both have the same kind of lifestyle, but their difference is woman B knows these 7 rules and woman A wish she did. She's constantly walking in like, where do I stand? Do they like me? She is constantly spending all of her time trying to manage perceptions of herself so she doesn't feel judged. So nervous about what do I say? How is that girl so confident? And by that girl, she's talking about woman B. And woman B isn't even necessarily the funniest, the loudest, or the best or smartest person in there, but for some reason people are drawn to her. She breezes her way through conversations effortlessly. People remember her and she just feels energized after social situations. She doesn't feel exhausted. She's not over analyzing everything she did. So let's talk about rule number 1, stop playing characters. The very first rule is to stop playing characters, okay? Because you are not exhausted in social situations because you're an introvert. You're exhausted in social situations because you are an actor. No offense. Basically, your brain has learned that different social situations require different versions of you. And so for example, maybe when you're around more authority figures, you start to shrink a little bit more. Maybe when you're around people you want to look polished in front of, you start kind of changing how you're perceived. Your brain thinks, okay, changing myself is keeping me safe, but you're also retraining to your mind constantly, as I am is not good enough. And so people don't accept me, I'm not good enough. So of course you're going to be anxious in social situations and not do well, because your brain is going into it with, well, you're not good enough anyway, people aren't going to like you. Your brain has got this narrative. Going back to the examples of the 2 women earlier, woman A is asking, who do I need to be in this room to be liked the most? And woman B is asking, who am I going to refuse to stop being in this room? And so I want you to think about a couple of personality traits that you have that are really core to who you are as a person that you tend to suppress in social situations, and your goal is to bring at least 2 to 3 of them into every room with you. So if you're a really funny person, Don't, when you feel yourself, suppressing a joke in that moment because you're scared of what other people think, don't always hold back on it unless it's like extremely offensive. But what I mean is, if you put something out there and people don't laugh or people don't respond well to it, it doesn't mean that what you did was wrong. It meant that they were the wrong audience. And guess what? You can't find what's aligned in life. You can't find what's meant for you in life if you can't accept what's misaligned. And so you need to be willing to be yourself in order to attract the right people for you. If you want to be more socially confident, you have to detach from this idea that if people don't respond to something well, that you have done something wrong. And so the best thing you can do is allow yourself to say it. You don't have to do it all performatively, but stop pretending that you're different people everywhere you go and telling your brain that you're just not good enough, because you're never going to have social confidence if you keep doing this, which naturally takes us on to rule number 2, to assume you are already accepted. So what you might not know about your brain is your brain is literally wired to find evidence to support what you believe. So if you've been telling yourself for the longest time, like, I'm not good enough, people don't respond well to me, I'm socially awkward, your brain will find evidence of that, whether it's true or not. So if somebody, looks away while you're talking, your brain is going to use that as evidence of like, oh, I'm not good enough, what I said wasn't good enough. If somebody yawns, maybe they just were underslept, but your brain is going to be like, oh, it's because I'm not doing a good job, oh, it's because they don't like me, oh, it's because they're not interested. You think you're awkward, but your brain is just proving that because you've told yourself that you're socially awkward so many times. It's not to assume that everybody's going to like you, because not everybody is, but it's to walk into a social situation assuming I belong here as much as everybody else does. Woman A over here, she's going, oh, like, I hope they like me, what can I do to make them like me? Woman B, the socially confident woman you want to become, it's, I don't need to earn my place here because I'm here just like everybody else. I have much of a place here as everybody else, and I'm allowed to experience this as much as everybody else. And when you tell yourself you're already accepted, over time your brain will start to find evidence to prove that. And then you will realize you were never socially awkward, you just kept telling yourself the same story over and over again. It feels strange at first, but I promise you it works. And now we're going to go into rule number 3, where a lot of women are very much sabotaging themselves. One of the biggest social confidence killers is trying to control the opinion that every single person has of you, or the perception. So you'll over explain your jokes, or you will over clarify everything, or you will slightly change what you're about to say and edit it as you're saying it to be more liked by them, and you'll then overthink their facial expressions and further change what you're saying after that to match what you think they've taken it as. Your brain believes that if you can manage everybody's perception, then you will fit in perfectly, but that's not true, because you cannot control other people's opinions no matter how hard you try. The only thing you control is how much energy you're going to waste trying to. Something that changed my life was realizing that it's okay if people misunderstand me. Like, people are allowed to misunderstand me. They're allowed to not get every joke, and they're allowed to not think the same as I do, because they've had a different life than me, with different experiences that have led to them having different views and beliefs and even senses of humor. And I don't have to chase people's perception anymore, because misalignment with someone else is not the same as something being wrong with you. Woman A feels the need to like over explain, and she tries to take on the burden of managing every single view of her. And if she thinks someone thinks something, she's not being herself. She's putting her whole energy into trying to prove that wrong, trying to meticulously craft every move, even though she can't control what they think. The socially confident woman is constantly reminding herself that their perception is not my truth, okay? Just because they think something, they're also going to project their own lens of what they see things on to me. Their own life experience might be the reason they see it that way. People get triggered by stuff and they judge you. It's not always because you did something wrong. Sometimes it's them projecting their own insecurity onto you. So even if you do everything right, she knows she can't control people's perceptions, and she doesn't waste her time trying. Let people experience you as you are, and they can make the decision for themselves, and stop getting so caught up on trying to manage that perception. That's when you finally start being truly socially confident, because you can breeze through a room without being like, oh, what I have to mold, what I have to change. This perfectly takes us on to number 4. Stop trying to be so interesting. And this sounds really counterintuitive, because a lot of people think, oh, well, socially confident people are so interesting and they've got so much to talk about and so much to say, and they're saying the right thing and they're always funny. They have something impressive to share. But when you are constantly trying to be interesting, you stop being present, scanning for the perfect response, or waiting for your turn to speak, or planning what you're going to say next in your head. You're performing instead of trying to connect with people. You don't listen to what they have to say, and then you suck at being a good conversationalist. Stop trying to be interesting and start being interested. I made a video on, adapting natural charisma, and a huge part of it is being a good listener. It's not always about what you say, it's often about how people feel around you. And it also takes the pressure off of then you needing to find the perfect thing to say. Woman A is like, okay, what can I say that's going to make me sound really good? What can I say that makes me seem intelligent, or that will win me points in that false system she's magically created in her head? Woman B asks questions she actually cares about, instead of just listening to wait her turn to speak so she can craft the most beautiful answer to get their approval. She's not planning her reply when somebody else is talking. She lets people finish their thoughts without interrupting, and she gets into the flow of a good conversation, because sometimes you are not a bad conversationalist. You're bad at focusing on how you're going to come across so much that you don't actually listen to other people. So of course you can't bounce off of them, okay? Because you're so consumed with your own perception. When somebody feels genuinely seen by you, they actually automatically feel more drawn to you. And again, it takes the pressure off of you not having to figure out what to say. And the irony is, the most interesting people in the room are usually the ones who are the most interested in everybody else. Which leads perfectly onto rule number 5. You've heard it before, but I'll keep saying it. You need to slow everything down. Social anxiety will naturally make you feel more rushed. Your words come out too fast. You'll have like jittery movements. You will fill silence because it feels uncomfortable. You'll jump in all the time. Confident people move differently, and they are not afraid of silence. When you slow your body down, your mind will follow. So you need to breathe through things and just chill out. And I know that's easier said than done, but what I mean is, when you let yourself be in this state, you also come across more socially anxious. When you learn to breathe, you realize, what am I panicking about right now? It's really not that scary. And so pause for a second before you speak. Take a breath. Let there be space between sentences. If there's a bit of silence, don't assume that means you've said something wrong. Let there be silence. You do not need to say more to be socially confident. You need to be comfortable saying less from a grounded place, so what you say actually matters. If you're feeling stressed, breathe. I promise it works. Breathe. Rule number 6, speak to yourself like somebody you respect. Most people don't realize this. Your confidence in social situations starts way before you enter the social situation and way before you enter the room. It starts in how you speak to yourself, because if your inner voice sounds like woman A, it's going to sound something like this. Don't mess this up. You're going to be awkward. Judge you. Why do you say things like that? They think you're lame. They're going to think you're weird. I'm so awkward. I can't do this. I wish I didn't have to be there. The list goes on. Keep telling yourself those things, and then your body that's heard all of these things walks into that room on edge, expecting the worst. And I've already told you what happens when your brain expects something to happen. It will find evidence of it. It's built to prove what you expect and believe. Our confident queen over here, she has a different reaction. It's a different inner dialogue. Before she walks into a room, she reminds herself, I can handle this. I don't need to be perfect. There's not as much pressure on myself that I'm imagining there is to be. I bring value just by being there, just like everybody else. I'm also here to enjoy myself. I'm also here to have a good time. Okay, I'm not just here to audition for them. I'm also auditioning things into my life. And these aren't empty affirmations. These are literally instructions you are giving yourself to remember to calm down. So before a social situation, pick a sentence that you can tell yourself and repeat it before you go out. Like, repeat it even loudly in the house, or you can repeat it in your head on the way there. You can record yourself in a voice note saying it and listen to it as you're walking, and deep breathe as you're listening to it. Say it in the mirror to yourself, and whenever you feel that voice spiraling back and slipping into negativity of like panicking about the event and putting yourself down, just remind yourself, not with shame, but just like, oh no, we don't do that here anymore. And then say that new affirmation in your mind. And notice how differently you will show up when your inner voice is on your side, which brings us to the 7th and final rule. Let it be messy. Because no matter how many strategies you learn, no social situation is ever going to go perfectly. And this one I really had to learn the hard way. You will still say things wrong, even when you've perfected this. You'll still have moments when you feel awkward. You'll still replay conversations sometimes. People will not reply how you've scripted them to in your head, and you will panic. And that's okay, because confidence does not come from everything going smoothly. Confidence comes from when it doesn't go smoothly, not internalizing it and making it mean something about how you're not good enough. And again, I know that's such a simple thing to say, but you really need to adapt this mindset and be able to move on and understand that one silly moment does not define you. When something goes wrong, woman A is going, why am I like this? Woman B, she's thinking, that was human. Oh wow, I just had a human experience. It was awkward. That happened. Confidence is not about eliminating awkwardness and every outcome going perfectly. It's about no longer being afraid of it. Once you stop being afraid of it, then you can finally start showing up as yourself and not feeling awkward. So now, I want to talk about the game changer, which is my little practical activation ritual that is going to change your life and implement these into your life. If you do not prove to your brain that you are not this socially awkward person, no matter what rules you apply, you're going to keep slipping back into the same identity, okay? So if there is only one thing you take away from this video, let it be this tool. I'm going to give you a little 4-step method to kind of collecting evidence for your new identity. So number 1, I want you to set your identity. Every single day before you leave the house, I want you to actually go, who am I becoming today? And I want you to reply to yourself with who you want to become. I don't just want you to say in the mirror, I am confident, I am socially confident, because your brain doesn't really believe that if you've been telling yourself something different. So pick wording like, I am choosing to become somebody who enjoys meeting people. I'm choosing to believe that I'm getting better at conversations. I'm choosing to own the fact that I do belong in every room, even if I'm not quite there yet. Say something that's actually believable to your brain and remind yourself of that, and that is how you start your day. Step 2, collect a piece of evidence every single day. It can be the smallest thing, like maybe you smiled first, or maybe you introduced yourself, or maybe you asked a question to somebody, maybe you stayed in the conversation instead of escaping it. Think of little tiny things that you are doing as an improvement and note one down every single day. It can be the smallest thing, because these tiny moments count. Your brain just needs proof of like, oh, it's not that scary. We don't need to protect you anymore because it's not that big a deal. So log every piece of evidence and celebrate it. Step 3, rewrite the story. So I want you to ask, what actually happened? What story did my brain create? And then what is another possible truth? So for example, it could be, oh, somebody looked away when I was speaking, and then the story I immediately told myself in the moment was, oh, they must not be interested in what I said. But another truth could probably be, they just didn't realize they were doing it. It wasn't actually anything to do with me. They could actually be beating themselves up about it afterwards and feeling rude. You're teaching your brain to separate facts from fear. And then number 4, building a confidence bank. You can do this every Sunday when you're planning the week ahead, or you can even do it on Monday morning. You want to read through all of the evidence you've collected that week, not to judge yourself, but to prove to yourself, like, see, I've changed. Like, I've made these small little changes. And even if you didn't remember to do it every day, even if 2 pieces of evidence, that is still huge. You're just proving to yourself that you can do it. And most people are replaying awkward social moments in their head, and then because of that, that becomes a reality because they keep attracting more of it. But you're choosing instead, I want to replay the positive moments. Let me look back on my week at all the ones I've collected to show I am socially confident, and replay those moments instead. Feed that new story to my brain so I no longer keep repeating these same I'm awkward, I'm socially anxious thoughts. And just the tiny pieces of evidence will all add up to the new person that you are. So then you can start saying, wait, maybe I actually am good with people. Maybe I am socially confident, because you're finally giving your brain enough evidence to repeat a different story. Your life will completely change. Now, one last thing I want you to do before you go away is I want you to imagine this new socially confident version of yourself that's like the woman bee. Okay, and you walk into, whether it's a date or the meeting or a social situation, whatever your ideal scenario is that you clicked on this video for, and imagine yourself walking in and not worrying what people think. Imagine yourself talking to people and not running out of things to say in a conversation. Imagine you're actually being interested in people and applying these 7 rules to your life, feeling so much more confident, feeling so much more ease when you leave. You're not replaying the situation anymore. And I actually want you to visualize this on a daily basis, at least for the next week, because your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between real and imagined. And so your brain will actually think that you are doing that thing, and you're going to start retraining this into your mind. And I want you to remember that that kind of confidence that you are working to give yourself is not just going to change how you come across. It's going to change your friendships. It's going to change your relationships, the opportunities you say yes to, how you feel, how you own a room, your presence, and therefore what you get in return. And ultimately, you're going to be able to build your dream life as a result of that. And if you are serious about breaking out of this mental cage, of course, go and get the juicy free workbook and cheat sheet down below. You can take this with you into everyday life and apply it with these exercises to really make a difference. And of course, if you're on your journey to becoming the most confident, successful version of yourself, then subscribe. If this video resonated, I know you're going to love the ones I put on screen. I put one more specifically about how to just not care what other people think. Also one about how to stop being so nice, because that is actually costing you socially and keeping you stuck in the loop of needing people to like you. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.